KCSE is supposed to start tomorrow. And there's an article here on the Standard still. We're going to have bits of the Sunday Nation as well. But let me handle this first. There's an article by Vincent Achuka which talks about, militant handling of exam, which is now worrying parents and learners. And he continues saying that government has been spirited in its anti-cheating propaganda. You'll think KCPE and KCSE exams are impeding wars. And one of the rules here, Mark, that this writer has quoted is that any person who willfully or maliciously damages examination materials will be in violation of Section 30 of the KNEC Act, and the penalty will be imprisonment, okay? You've heard me right there, for a term not exceeding 5 years, or a fine not exceeding 5 million shillings or both. We're talking about KCP and KCSE here.
The worship of a certificate in this country has gotten to epidemic proportions on both sides of the divide, both on the side of the examiner and the examined. Number one, we've painted a picture in this country that your life pattern and where it's headed can be determined by whether you got an A or not in your KCSE or KCPE. Number two, we've decided that there's nothing more important in a child's life than 5 examinable subjects in KCPE and like 7 in KCSE. Now, the mistake we are making, you can imagine after you give a child such tension during the exam, then he has to look at a police officer with a gun, then he's got to be frisked as though he's a member of Al-Shabaab, then at the same time he's got to make sure that he does not accidentally tear his paper and ask for another one, because if he does, he's supposed to face a 5-year jail term. Again, because we know schools are accused wholly of cheating, then you not only have a 5 million possibility fine and 5 years in jail, but at the same time, a very brilliant piece, and I use brilliant in very big air quotes, has decided that if your son cheats, your degree and your certificate are also not valid. That makes me wonder whether the people in charge of our education sector are themselves educated. Because this kind of rules can only come out from people who believe they're dealing with a barbarian state. If you require 5-year penalties, armed policemen, and helicopter lifts and printing our papers from the UK and spending 1.5 billion to manage a 13-year-old sitting the exam in class 8 and an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old sitting an exam in Form 4, then how incompetent are you in spending 8 years? 8 years. The education system has been in charge of this child for 8 years, and you produce someone that from what have you been teaching this child? That the net result of you taking this child for 8 years is for them to do the cannot do it under threat of a gun, under threat of a prison sentence, under threat of a fine. Surely, my mother, when she brought me up, if she heard that I was going to cheat in an exam, if you just told me your mother will hear about this, I would change. Today, it is not enough. A jail sentence is not enough, and even threatening parents is not enough. On top of that, we're spending 1.5 billion shillings, Yusuf. Instead of feeding children in schools, instead of making sure free primary and secondary education works, we're spending 1.5 billion shillings from keeping people from cheating. Let me tell you, Belio Kipsang, Amina Mohammed, I am disappointed in you. There is no way you can teach someone for 8 years and you still need a gun for them to write on a piece of paper.
But I'm sure you'll agree with me that exam cheating has been a major problem in the education system.
It's not a major problem. It's not exam cheating. We are a nation of cheats. Look at the bus that fell. We cheated on insurance, cheated on the speed governor, cheated on the edge of the driver, cheated on everything, cheated the passengers off of a seat. They were sitting on crates. We cheat. That's what Kenyans do. The problem with this country, how many election petitions fail? Elections are overturned. Why? Because the people we elect want to be cheats in the.
But that needs to be stopped, right?
It doesn't need to be stopped. What we as Kenyans need to do is look ourselves in the mirror here and realize the president is not the problem, Raila is not the problem, we are the problem. When we overlap on roads, we are the problem. When we steal from our bosses petty cash, we are the problem. When we are supposed to be doing accounts and you remove a zero and add a one, we are the problem. We are a country of thieves, liars, and murderers.
Wakili, you've heard Mark there loud and clear, I'm sure. You've seen the rules that I've read before, that if any person that is a student is, caught having damaged examination materials, then the penalty is that they'll be imprisoned for a time not exceeding 5 years or a fine of 5 million Kenya shillings. Okay, exam cheating has been a problem. Everybody talks about it. But don't you think these rules are a bit too much?
Yusuf, what is shocking is every time we discuss national issues, what leaves anybody who has gone to an education system that works and comes out learned is the glorified incompetence. Look at what the kind of spurious thinking that we allow people to call them regulations. Why would my certificate today be tied to a person doing another exam? You know, there is something in law we say equivalent punishment for equivalent offense.
Yes.
You cannot have a punishment bigger than the offense. That is not how the law is supposed to operate. But the other thing is this: how have we arrived here, where we are using 1.3 billion to curb exam cheating? We are here because, one, over time, we have glorified what we call a Form 4 or any educational certificate in this country. We have not glorified hard work. We have not made systems such that if today I get a C in the national exams, I have a place in the society. We have made it that if I don't get an A or a B, my place is already, my destiny is shut. That is the problem. Look at even the curriculum that has been reviewed. The kind of things that are happening in that curriculum, where we are drawing an aeroplane and we are saying that is for the MP. What kind of, we are talking about radicalization from Al-Shabaab. The kind of radicalization that goes on in our schools is more dangerous than what Al-Shabaab does to our youth, because we are radicalizing somebody to start thinking that the only way I can survive in this world, if I do not have money, I am dead. Instead of inculcating values in our children and re-engineering our torn social fabric, we are using it to look like it is like a business, profit and loss. No, that is not the way to go. And to the people who are manning our Ministry of Education, there is a problem. The problem is this: if today you have taught learners well, why should they cheat? The other thing, create avenues. The Bible talks about everybody has a specific purpose in life. Not all of us, our purpose was to pass exams. There are people who are good footballers. In the new curriculum, put a place for talent. There are people who are good athletes. Let us allow this to be a country where everybody can pursue anything. And that is why America becomes a dream state. Because when you are in America, you are a good footballer, your place is guaranteed. But in Kenya, your place is only guaranteed through academics. The other mistake we are doing is this, that every leader must have a degree. That is the bad thinking that we have put in this place. We should ask ourselves, what has degrees in our leadership delivered so far? So that's why we are fighting our kids to have the degrees. If it hasn't delivered, let us do away with it. The other thing is this: why are we, for a moment, diverting our intelligence system security to go and guard exams? It means that there is failure somewhere. And on to my last point, doesn't it contradict what the president talks about, creating jobs, when we carry exams all the way from Nairobi to a place in UK to print them? Are we condemning our printers in industrial area? We print our money in Delaru, here in Thika Road. Which one is more precious, an exam paper or money? We print
that's a whole different topic.
So we need to ask ourselves, when we talk about jobs and getting money out of this place, cheap money, why are we even printing our exams in UK? Do you mean...
Let me get Dismas' point of view. Dismas, you just have a minute. Talk about the education and how exams have been militarized before we cross over to yet another splash in the Sunday.